Honda dealer. Along the banks of the Anacostia, there's weather in the area tonight. We're told an 80% chance of some sort of rain tonight. And the Brewers come in 6th in the league in hitting and in runs, 7th in home runs. And John Lannon just about ready as Ricky Weeks steps in. We'll set the Milwaukee lineup for you, but I think you already know a couple of the guys that are in there tonight. First pitch at 7:05, right on time. Very overcast, 80 degrees. You can feel a little mugginess in the air. And John Lannon gets a strike, 1-1 to Weeks, who's off to a good start at 3.33. John Lannon 1-1 with an 8.31 ERA. Did get a win at New York despite struggling last time out. And Weeks will foul it out of play to the right side. Welcome home, Rob Dibble.
It's nice to be home, Bob. Nice road trip. Got a nice long 10-game homestand. It'd be nice to take about 7 games in that homestand.
Some tough teams to do it against: Milwaukee, Colorado, LA. Ricky Weeks with a bouncer. Desmond knows he has to hurry. He does it perfectly.
Very nice play.
Milwaukee has an interesting scenario going right now. Not a whole lot of power. They're trying to leg out a hit right here.
But that's a good jam shot right there by Lannon and on the hands of Weeks. And Desmond has to get rid of it, as Bob said, and a perfect play. If you're not going to hit that well, you got to play great defense.
Next up is Corey Hart. No problem with Ryan Braun, but Prince Fielder, knock on wood, has not hit a home run yet. Casey McGee has 3. Milwaukee's a ball club known for power. With all these young sluggers, Corey Hart's become a very good player at this stage of his career, and he's off to a 286 start. Lannon getting a couple of ground balls to start the game. Guzman scoops it up 2 down.
Well, he's going hard at him, Bob, and let's break him down a little further with a scouting report. When he's on his game, he gets a lot of ground balls like those first 2 balls. He pounds them in. Go deep. We need our starters to start going 6 and 7 innings into the game and get them off the plate. We didn't really back the Phillies off the plate in those 6 games against them. We got to start a little bit more pitching inside.
Ryan Braun, 14 for 37. 4th in the league with 3 homers, 7th with 11 RBIs. A 3.08 career hitter in 3 full major league seasons coming in. Coming off a year when he hit 32 homers and drove in 114 last year, and he led the league. How about this for a slugger? Led the league in hits with 203. John shows him the changeup, 1-1.
And you throw in the 113 runs scored, and this guy could have been the MVP if it wasn't Pujols. So he had a tremendous year, and people forget about him. Plays in Milwaukee. He's a hell of a player.
He's won 2 straight Silver Sluggers, 2 straight All-Star games, and that was after he was National League Rookie of the Year in 2007.
And he's not a big guy. I mean, he's 6'1", maybe 185, 190 pounds, but boy, when he hits a home run, it is a monster shot.
He reaches out and strokes a base hit.
You'll take that. Not the worst thing in the world. Have that guy take you to right.
Ryan Zimmerman is still not back in the starting lineup. He made a mighty contribution off the bench yesterday, so Adam Kennedy plays across from Adam Dunn. Will Nieves gets some action tonight after Butch Rodriguez really worked hard in Philly. Desmond Guzman up the middle, and then Morgan between Willingham and Harris. Adam Kennedy started 78 games at third base for the Oakland Athletics last year. The first time in his career he had really played over there at all. Prince Fielder has hit 160 home runs in 4 years. None so far. He has struck out 12 times in 34 at-bats.
They hit 207 as a team last year.
Braun running. Will Nieves throw perfect at the bag, but trying to make a quick swipe tag. Desmond couldn't hold it, and Ryan Braun swipes the base.
And that was a nice try by Will. Looked like it was a changeup or something off speed, and that's the best time to run. So Braun picked a good pitch to steal the base on. There you're going to see the delivery. He went on first movement. Nice strong throw right to the bag. Ian tries to do a slap tag, and he leaves the ball, but nice play by all.
1-1 to Fielder. You know, there are times when
good
Prince Fielder,
breaking ball.
That was a good pitch.
That was an excellent pitch. There you see him try to do the nice swipe tag there, but ball hits the heel of the glove.
You know, I was just thinking about that steal. If Prince Fielder's hot and Braun does that, you walk Prince. You don't even pitch to him. But he's not hitting for power right now. And Ken Maka may be moving a base runner so that he can get an RBI with just a base hit. And we've got rain falling just as the game gets started. That'll even the count 2-2.
Well, as we've said before, you know, John threw a great breaking ball. It got called for a ball. You can't let the umpire dictate your game. Come right back with that same pitch. It was a beautiful pitch. And sometimes I think our pitchers get discouraged when the umpire calls a ball. Hey, just keep throwing him. Eventually, he's going to call him right.
Adrian Johnson, crew chief Tim McClellan, Mike Everett, and Andy Fletcher. 2-2 with Braun at second base.
Prince Fielder doesn't want John Lannon to get in a rhythm and a groove, so he calls time, make him stop.
Wind is really whipping from the north, coming right down Capitol Street, right down Half Street, blowing in from the corner. And you can see our camera was having a hard time staying steady. There it is. We've really seen some changing conditions here at the ballpark in the last few minutes. 3-2 to Fielder. Breaking ball gets him. It was up. Might have gotten away with one there. Fielder strikes out, and the base hit, stolen base by Braun, does not hurt. .33. It was about 20 points below that 2 days ago. Josh Willingham had a 2 Grand Slam game in Milwaukee last year. So to a certain extent, over the last couple of years, he has feasted on Brewers pitching. In fact, Milwaukee's pitching staff last year really hit the skids. Giovanni Gallardo, tonight's starter, went 13-12 last year. But they went from first in ERA to 15th from the 08 to the 09 season. So here's Nyjer Morgan hitting only .229. And a fastball up and away.
Well, and you'll remember the second half or the last couple of months of the season in 08, they had CC Sabathia come in, give them a lot of help. This is a strikeout specialist here. Giovanni Gallardo can throw very hard. And there you see a very nice changeup. Had 207 strikeouts last season.
Morgan 8 for 35 in the early going. And despite the poor batting average, a pretty good on-base percentage of .341 as he was all over the bases the last 2 games in Philly. Fastball just missing, 3-1. Niger has only struck out 1 time in 35 at-bats, and he's taken 5 walks. That's a good ratio right there.
This is a tailing fastball at about 93, and you see the catcher try to frame it, and what I mean by that is squeeze the glove and then turn it side and hopefully get a call, and he didn't get it on the 3-0 pitch, 3-1 pitch, 2-1 pitch, excuse me.
No, it's 3-2 now. Morgan just outside the bag.
And people watching the game tonight will remember Greg Zahn in an Orioles uniform last year. He's been around a little bit. Excellent catcher. And one of the grittiest guys you'll ever get on your team. So he was a nice acquisition by the Brewers. There's Greg.
And a 3-2 to Morgan. Staying alive. So the thing is, Niger has not hit for great average yet. But when you look at the fact that he's made contact 34 out of 35 at bats, that makes you feel just fine about what he's going to do for this ball club. But the Nats need Morgan and Harris, Morgan and Desmond, who's ever hitting up top, on base more often than they have been so far. And there's the first out for Gallardo.
The last couple of games in Philly, Niger's doing that. Floodwaters keep rising to the occasion. Yesterday, the team did a great job of getting to the Philly bullpen. We'll get to the starter today. Show no mercy. You just got to keep coming at these guys. Don't give up. And you know what? It's fireworks night. Let's make our own fireworks. Let's hit a few balls out of the park in the gaps, score some runs.
There's Willie Harris. Same hometown as Jackie Robinson down in Georgia. And Willie's honored to be in the lineup tonight. He'd like to collect some base hits. He's only 2 for 17.
Well, and it looks like Gallardo's going soft the first time through the lineup. Told you how hard he throws. Well, he's been hit pretty good in the first couple of starts this season, so he's trying to change things up a little bit.
ERA 6.75. And opponents are only hitting .261 against him. Not a great number, not a bad number. But he's had some ill-timed walks around some base hits.
And that would be John Lannon. 13 hits in 9 innings, but 6 walks. And you put those guys on, and they eventually come around and score.
1-2 to Harris with a target away.
So basically, Gallardo pitched in reverse to Harris right there. Did the same thing against Niger. Off-speed stuff, and then 94 on the black. Here it is. You be the judge. Just off the plate.
He might get that call later. He'll get that call. Dropping one to the outside corner. And the first 2 Nats have been retired. Right now, Milwaukee's one of the best defensive clubs in the National League. They've only made 5 errors along with the Mets. Casey McGee has solidified third base for them. Alcides Escobar, young shortstop with Ricky Weeks. And another unfamiliar name is Carlos Gomez. More on him, the center fielder between Braun and Hart. And there's Casey McGee.
Carlos Gomez came over from the Twins. Was part of the Johan Santana trade years ago. He is fast, but he didn't put up the good numbers that the Twins thought he would, so he got to heave hope.
He's 24, McGee's 27.
Gallardo's 24. They have a lot of very young, good players on this team, including Braun. The big problem is, can they re-sign Prince Fielder at the end of the season?
Cristian Guzman off to a solid start. Batting left-handed, he's 5 for 15. Overall, he's at .276. Had a really nice year against the Brewers last season. Milwaukee won 5 of the 8 games, but that was because of what they did here. And Guzman will get Adam Dunn to the plate with a first-inning base hit. Last year, Milwaukee won 3 out of 4 in a series here. The Nats split a 4-game series at Miller Park.
Well, this is a good job for a big reason. 15 pitches now by Gallardo in the first inning, so Christian Guzman keeps the inning going by the diving fielder there. Now you bring your big boppers up. Dunn, then the hammer.
Adam Dunn, the big 8th inning homer yesterday. Also had a base hit in that game, so Adam finally had a multi-hit game. He's 5 for 27. But when he gets hot, the home runs come in bunches, and of course the RBIs along with them.
And I can't tell him this, but I have him on my fantasy team, and I need him to pick it up a little bit.
Do you have any other Nationals on there?
No, I do not, but I have a great team. I'm actually, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm tied for first place right now.
Wow. Don't change a thing if you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
That's when your owner will tell you, Rob, don't think. You'll hurt the ball club.
And right you were about Gallardo. He's pounding that outside part of the dish, and he's starting to get those calls now. The more consistently he can hit that at 93, 94, Adams going to have to take that fastball to left field.
A lot of room over there. Only one infielder, McGee, but the count's 0-2. Adam, second in the league in walks with 11. David Wright, 13. That wasn't a high towering drive yesterday. It was a laser.
Well, he got on top of it, and his hit earlier in the ball game, he was up on top of it, and he's rolling his hands over. But Baez throws 95, 96 miles an hour, and he supplies the power. You just got to make some contact.
1-2 to Dunn, who takes the off-speed pitch low. He's an amazingly disciplined hitter, even with 2 strikes. ...116 walks last year. Did he go? No. There was an appeal to third, and third base umpire Andy Fletcher said no swing. Might go as a wild pitch with it bouncing way out in front.
I think we caught a break here. Well,
that was close.
It was borderline. That was right on top of the plate, so I think that's a good call.
I don't think Andy Fletcher saw the bat ever point toward him down at third base.
I know if the Brewers were hitting, I'd want that call.
Of course you would. You're a pitcher. Now it's 3-2 to Dunn. It was 0-2. He offered it that one. That is a swing, says Andy Fletcher. And Adam Dunn's gone.
Oh, man, that's not good. He just got tossed.
Adam Dunn tossed from the game?
He threw his helmet, and he was jawing at the umpire. And
Adam Dunn out, evidently in more ways than one, at a scoreless first inning. Archer, the third base umpire.
Yeah, that time I think the bat came across home plate, but either way, it doesn't matter. Adams got to keep himself in the game. With Zimmerman out, he's way too valuable to the Nationals right now. And obviously he's a little frustrated, and Jim Riggleman goes out and cannot believe that his number 4 hitter is done for the night. But you just got to make some adjustments. As you said, Adam goes to first, Gonzo goes to third. And you got to move on, turn the page, and quickly regroup right here.
I'm pretty sure it's the first time in the major leagues Alberto Gonzalez has ever batted cleanup this early in a game. Maybe on a double switch a little later here and there, but not here. Here's Casey McGee hitting .333. This guy had a breakout season last year in 116 ball games, hit 16 homers, 66 RBIs. Batting .301. He's out of Fresno State. On waivers from the Cubs, October of 08, after he had only 24 at-bats for Chicago that season. Rain coming down steadily. And a fly ball to right. Willie Harris turned his back on it. Now the wind pushes it right into the bullpen. There's that breeze we talked about blowing from the left field corner. Willie Harris thought he was going to catch it right up until the time he banged up against the fence. And McGee's 4th of the year gives Milwaukee the lead.
Well, the pitch is up and away from McGee, and he just launches that sucker, and the wind grabs it and throws it right over the wall. A nice effort, nice Exmo on the replay, but the nice effort by Willie Harris, all for naught. It's 1-0.
Here's 24-year-old Carlos Gomez, who the Brewers got from Minnesota for J.J. Hardy last November. On most nights, that's a deep but fairly routine fly ball.
Yep. Didn't get all of it, but once you get up in the jet stream and that wind, boy, it took off like a shot.
On a busted bat, a ground ball to short for Desmond.
Well, and we've talked about this. We talked about it yesterday. Solo shot like that shouldn't hurt you. You got to score to win anyway. Just got to put it behind you like it was another hit and move on. And he did a great job with Gomez, and he slices the bat in half.
A lot of ball Cubs in recent years, like Toronto, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and now Milwaukee, have coveted the services of veteran catcher Greg Zahn. 39 years of age. Nobody's going to be able to catch that wind-blown pop-up. He's a career .251 hitter in his 16th major league season.
Well, and I talked to him last year when we were playing Baltimore in the Beltway series, and he talked about, they wanted him to come in and be a mentor to Matt Wieters, but Wieters developed a lot quicker than the Orioles maybe expected, and they ended up trading Greg during the season last year. He's an excellent receiver, and he will grind out some at-bats for you.
Hands on 0-2. Blown away by John Lannon. John collecting his second strikeout.
This is on 0-2. He's guessing what's coming now. Good changeup, good curveball by Lannon tonight, and he throws a 90-mile-an-hour fastball right by him.
And here's Alcides Escobar, a 23-year-old shortstop from Venezuela, who the Brewers called up last August when J.J. Hardy was struggling and sent him to AAA. In 38 ball games, he hit .304. John Lannon has it. Another ground ball out. A wind-blown home run by Casey McGee. And after an inning and a half, the home run, the difference. happen against Jeff Suppan with a grand slam in the 5th inning back on Monday, July 27th. 1 inning later against Mark DeFelice went deep again. 2 grand slams in 1 game, 8 RBIs. His RBI total went from 31 to 39 that night. The Nationals split that 2-game series with the Brewers. Biggest night of the Hammer's career. And he hit another one last week in New York. Fastball is up to Josh, who's hitting .333. 2 of his 10 hits, home runs, 9 RBIs.
Well, when he's quick to the ball, he's so strong. Once he gets that bat head out in front, the ball is going to be launched. We just saw 4 home runs by Chase Utley with that short, compact swing. Quick to the ball, covering the plate.
Yeah, these guys are so strong these days. Doesn't take a big swing to hit it for distance anymore. And that's, by the way, on that McGee homer, have now been out-homered 15-6 this year. The Brewers have given up the most home runs in the league, 17. Casey McGee with his 4th. And a 3-1 to Josh. Off the plate, and the patient Nationals work another walk. It's the 2nd inning. We talk about all things number 2. And runs scored in the first 2 innings. The Nats have the early offense going, like the Phillies, the Braves, and the Giants. Boy, then the Giants, they got that great starting pitching. They get some runs early, they'll shut you down. Call today for the Luna Double. Get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. See, we don't talk just about doubles. We're talking first 2 innings here. Here's Ian Desmond. You'd love to see him come home in a ballpark where he's comfortable and get the bat going. Ian did have 2 hits yesterday, including a crucial 7th inning RBI hit that got the Nats their 2nd run of the game. He's 6 for 26 here. They play him deep and straight away. And that's sharply hit, but right at Escobar. Weeks turns the double play. Nationals have been into 11 double plays in this, the 10th game of the year.
Well, you want to hit something hard right here. It was off speed. He hits it hard, but right on the ground. Infield pulled in at double play depth. And Escobar to Weeks. Was just a short time ago when Bill Hall was playing here and he played the infield. It would have been Hardy to Hall, and those 2 are quickly out of here. And now you've got Weeks playing second every day, and the young Escobar, who came up, like you said, last year and allowed them to get their center fielder Gomez here.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks, they've been waiting and waiting for him to be proficient at the big league level and to avoid injury. He's been hurt a lot early in his career.
And they even brought back Jimmy Edmonds as a possible fill-in at times for Gomez if Gomez doesn't get it going.
And Edmonds has been playing a little bit of right field here and there. But against a left-hander tonight, he's on the dugout bench. 2 balls, 1 strike with Adam Kennedy, who was traded for Jim Edmonds back in '99.
6 degrees of Jimmy Edmonds.
There's Edmonds right in the middle there, who's had a very, very fine career. Gold gloves in both leagues. A stylish center fielder, to say the least. Kennedy gets jammed and pops it up to left field. Ryan Braun. Nats had a leadoff walk. The double play took care of that. And after 2 here at home, it's the Brewers by 1. AFCEA.org, the association for IT pros, Debbie Taylor.
Well, Bob, you couldn't pick a better candidate than Willie Harris to represent Jackie Robinson, both the person and the player.
I hope I can go out and somewhat play like Jackie did, but that's definitely a tough task to follow. But if I can steal one base tonight, I think that's what Jackie would like.
Willie told me, too, that his hometown of Cairo, Georgia, is very loving, and they all represent Jackie Robinson well, guys.
Something they can treasure forever. Jackie, Willie, and Ernest Riles, the three major leaguers from that town in Georgia. Jackie Robinson, by the way, debuted April 15th, 1947. He went 0 for 3 with a walk, but then his first hit of his rookie season was a bunt single. He bunted 42 times and had 19 hits that first year. The pitcher, Giovanni Gallardo, pretty good hitting pitcher. He has 4 career home runs. Ian Desmond throws it away almost, requiring a tag by Adam Kennedy. Jackie Robinson was originally at first base. The Dodgers traded Eddie Stanky, and so Jackie moved to second to make room for Gil Hodges at first. And an exciting player on the bases. He was baseball's first Rookie of the Year in 47, an award that is now named for him, and evidently he could get out of the way of a line drive, too. Multi-sport star at UCLA. And Rob, we were talking about Jackie this afternoon. You were online. We were talking about different things about his career and about his life. And I thought something you told me was very striking about what Branch Rickey was looking for in the player that would break the color line. He wasn't looking for somebody who was going to go out there and get in a fist fight with everybody.
He was looking for a player that was going to be strong enough and had the guts not to fight back. And, you know, the story of Jackie is when he was younger, he was fighting with everybody. And, you know, he didn't like the whole segregation deal, and he fought back even when he was in the military. And that's actually what led him to start playing baseball, meeting a guy from the Kansas City Monarchs. But that was farther down the road. Branch Rickey wanted a man strong enough and tough enough to withstand that first year, what it was going to be for the first African-American to play in the major leagues. And Jackie Robinson was the one.
John Lannon against Ricky Weeks at the top of the order. Bounced out to Desmond at short, first time up. And Lannon gets the inside corner. John throwing the ball pretty well.
And he's got all his pitches working. And we've talked about that. Find what's working for you and keep using it. His curveball's working well. Changeup working well. Just keep pounding the strike zone. Take your chances and let your defense help you.
He goes with the breaking ball, and the count's full.
One of those pitchers was in there, Mr. Don Newcomb, who is still living and was at Dodger Stadium and gave a very nice speech yesterday. And I've spoken to Don Newcomb many, many times. And wonderful man. Still dresses impeccably. Suit, tie, hat. It's like he's still a player.
Gonzalez handling that foul ball.
We should also remember Larry Doby, who came up about a month later with the Cleveland Indians. Went through everything Jackie was going through in the National League. Mr. Doby had to go through it in the American League.
Yep. John Lannon, career record of 21-31, and even 4 ERA in his first 72 career starts. He's 0-1 in 3 starts against Milwaukee with a very high ERA. So Nats run support bailing him out a couple of times. 3-2 again to Weeks. John misses low and away.
Bob, let's check out John Lannon when he's rolling. This is a great curveball. Watch the grip, the super slow-mo. He's on top of it. He gets that top spin, and Prince Fielder can't get to it. And then he would later blow away Greg Zahn with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So when you got your changeups working in the 70s, that 90 looks about 95.
Yeah, and it's ironic that John's 2 strikeouts on pitches high in the zone. He's a ground ball pitcher who keeps it low. So a couple of times when he's been ahead, hitters have looked for the low stuff and couldn't catch up with the upstairs stuff. Corey Hart bounced out to Guzman.
Well, and John can't get away from his strengths, which is challenging guys, coming in on guys. He's a contact pitcher. So he's going to get hit sometimes, but he's got to go right after people, work ahead to get to his off speed. And like Gallardo, though, both guys are working their changeups and curveballs in early and then striking guys out on fastballs. So maybe a little reverse on both sides of the field.
Weeks 1 for 2 in steals so far. He was out most of last year after surgery on his left wrist, May 20th. There's a double play ball. Guzman double and triple clutches. Never got the ball out of his glove. And the Nats failed to turn it. It'll be a 6-4 for the second out.
Little trouble on the transfer right here. And this is going to happen. He hasn't played a lot of second base in his career, and he gets the feed. Nice feed from Ian Desmond. And as he goes to pull it out, he knows a fast and speedy Ricky Weeks is barreling down on him from behind. And that's a tough thing for a second baseman to kind of get it out of your mind that, hey, this guy's coming for me and coming for my legs. I better get rid of this ball and turn my back quickly and get forward on this guy. And the transfer was messed up.
Yeah, the thing you hate about that is that Ryan Braun should not be batting now in this inning. That replay indicated Desmond gave Guzman a perfect letter-high relay. Ryan Braun with a base hit opposite field first time. He stole second, was stranded there when Fielder struck out. Will Nieves trying to negate that good jump. Safe at second is Corey Hart. And even though John Lannon's a left-hander, the Brewers are running on him, Rob. Yeah. They've seen something they know they can take advantage of.
Well, a little bit extra high leg kick there. You see it. About 1-1, 1-2 to home plate. And Corey Hart, good speed. Gets down there. Great throw by Will Nieves. Again, you see him get up there. Doesn't even try to get the mask off. Fires a perfect strike right to Christian. Almost got him. So if you're not getting the ball to your catcher in under 1-2, makes it very difficult for him to try to throw runners out.
Braun 11 RBIs already this year. He will hook one down the corner and foul.
Nothing but a long strike.
0-2. Ken Maka, solid baseball man. This second year with Milwaukee. Wynn's going to move this ball right over to Willie Harris. And John Lannon pitches around the walk and the steal. Bottom of the third coming up in a 1-0 game. game goes to the bottom of the third. Join the Nats in celebrating Earth Day. Drop off a recyclable bottle, glass, aluminum, or plastic outside the center field gates on April 22nd. Gates open through the third inning. You'll get a voucher printed on recycled paper for 50% off select tickets courtesy of Coca-Cola. Voucher can be redeemed for that day's game or any Monday through Thursday game in May, and that's May or June. Some restrictions may apply. Hope you can join us. Here's the bottom of the third, and Will Nieves. Will's had 8 at-bats this year with 1 hit. Pudge Rodriguez probably deserved a night off. He caught the entire 14-7 game in Philadelphia Wednesday night that took 3 hours and 19 minutes. And then he caught every pitch of the 3-hour and 27-minute game yesterday.
Well, I went green today. I bought a pair of shoes that were 70% of the material was recycled.
Really?
Yes. Wow. So I didn't know I was going green, but it's always nice to be green.
And Will Nieves will respond with a base hit to right center.
Get in there.
Over to cut it off. Hart. Nieves makes a big turn, and that's okay. You make a big turn, go about a third of the way to second base, check out the throw, and then he's back in.
Well, and as you were talking about it, you make Corey Hart make this play, field the ball cleanly, and then throw it into second, and you'll see he's got to hustle over, backhand the ball. Sometimes a guy might bobble that, and that'll give you second base. And a nice, strong throw, and here is the hard turn. Always hustling. You run down, you stop, you come back, you force the issue.
Nice swing by Will, taking the ball the other way.
Oh, he's happy.
And John Lannon will be up there with a chance to bunt. High strike. John, 44 pitches, 29 strikes in his first 3 innings. In the air, easy out for somebody. Third baseman McGee. Nationals pitchers haven't been real good at getting bunts down so far this year. Ask about the Nats at MassonSports.com. We love to hear from you with your emails during the ball game. Your Nats are baseball-related questions, and let's have at it. Top of the order, Nyjer Morgan. Wind really whipping in the ballpark tonight. In the Jackie Robinson numerical category, Nyjer Morgan, B.J. Upton, and Sean Figgins all stole, guess what, 42 bases last year. We hope he could add 10 or 20 onto that total this season. Nyjer pulled the ball first time up and grounded out to the second baseman, Ricky Weeks. Big gap in right center. It's interesting, the corner outfielders, especially Corey Hart in right, play Morgan to pull the ball down the line. And then the center fielder, Carlos Gomez, a few steps toward left center. That's a triple waiting to happen out there. Three and one.
Well, we talk about trying to get the ball to home plate under 1.2 seconds, and Gallardo's doing it. He's doing it in 1.17 seconds, but he's rushing so much to get it to home, try to avoid maybe a stolen base by Will or maybe a bunt by Niger, that he's getting behind in the count because he's not getting anything behind the ball. So a lot of times you worry about pitchers, especially with that quick slide step, going to home quickly, and you give up your mechanics, and sometimes you can't throw strikes. The most important part of the pitch is to throw a strike, not just rush it to home plate.
There's one heading for that gap. That'll two-hop the wall. Will Nieves is coming home. Morgan's going to third. They had a play there. And safe at home is Will Nieves. It is a Morgan triple, and the game is tied. Some aggressive base running and good aggressive coaching by Pat Listash, a former Milwaukee Brewer, by the way, over at third base.
Well, remember, he falls behind 3-1, and then he has to come in to a good contact hitter in Niger Morgan, who slaps it into the gap. When a guy throws 93-94, he's supplying the power. Great relay. Weeks with a strong throw, one hopper. Zahn blocking the plate perfectly. They executed great, but watch this great slide around Zahn. Gets his hand in there just before the tag, and then Niger comes into third standing up.
Infield in, here's Willie Harris. He goes up hacking, looking for an RBI. Willie wearing the number 42 of Jackie Robinson tonight.
And you said earlier how good the defense has been by the Brewers. That will keep you in some ball games.
Yeah, they played that well.
Yep, they played that very well.
Sometimes the other guys are just too fast.
Pat Listash being very aggressive. Hope to see a lot more of that. Put pressure on the defense. Make them make that perfect one-hop throw to the catcher.
Harris takes one over but low.
That's not that bad of a pitch, though. I mean, it's tough. He's been getting some of those calls on the outer half, and he came straight over the top on that fastball. And, man, it is tough to throw strikes or get strikes called for you with small strike zone.
Niger Morgan, by the way, 3 triples already this season.
Well, and you see Gallardo struggling a little bit mechanically. He's really flying open and rushing the ball to home plate. Very mad at himself for that triple by Morgan, but now you got to try to get yourself under control and throw some strikes.
2-1 to Willie Harris. He saw a pitch up that he thought he could at least fly deep enough into the outfield.
He's upset at himself because that was a fastball up, and you just want a pitch you can drive, try to get a sacrifice fly and get you the lead right here. He knew that one got by him. He should have had it.
Good eye on 2-2. Good hitter on deck. Good situation for the Nats here on their return home, trying to take the lead for the first time in this game.
Well, Milwaukee knows how important that run is at third. They've got the infield pulled in. All their attention now on Willie Harris.
Looked like he held up. He did. And Willie Harris is aboard with one out. A lot of check swings against Gallardo here early.
That plate right there. It's a strike. No, he did not.
This is an interesting situation, Rob, because the Nationals no longer have Adam Dunn on deck behind Guzman. It's Alberto Gonzalez. So this will be interesting. Guzman almost becomes the cleanup hitter in this situation. Adam Dunn ejected after a check swing called strike 3 to end the first inning. And Gonzalez inserted into the number 4 spot. Breaking ball misses.
Another good pitch.
I think he's frustrated right now.
And the more erratic he is, the fewer pitches you're going to get. But good ball clubs will pick up a guy like Adam Dunn. Adam's not going to get tossed out of too many games during the season. So that's when you got to pick your big man up.
They've got Willie Harris picked off. Oh, boy. You know, right before that pitch, we had a shot of Willie Randolph next to Ken Maka in the Milwaukee dugout. He was flashing defensive signs, and I wonder if Willie alerted his defense that Harris might be running here.
Well, Willie, an excellent coach in his own right. And Willie Randolph pretty much called that. He smelled something like a steal.
1-3-6 on the caught stealing. That hurts. And here's Guzman trying to pick up the guy's now. Breaking ball inside 2-0.
It wouldn't hurt if he could get a pass ball right here. But yeah, that really hurts. 1 out, fly ball, gets you the lead.
That's a second national picked off in the last couple of games. Off of first base by a right-handed pitcher. And this inning will come apart that quickly. Nats had a great chance to take the lead. They literally gave it away. It's a 1-1 game into the fourth. Welcome you to our working position here in the booth. Rob, you hate to see base running mistakes, especially in a close ball game.
Well, definitely. I mean, first John Lannon didn't get the bunt down. That's the lack of execution. That can help the team and yourself. And then Willie Harris with 1 out. Guy hits a fly ball, gets that run in from third. You get the lead. It's a little bit more comfortable situation for your pitcher. So a couple things went wrong in that inning. A couple things went right. Should have the lead right here. You don't want to do that too often against a good team like Milwaukee.
Top of the fourth inning, Prince Fielder. This will be a long throw for Guzman. No chance. Too far to go, too far to throw. I guess that goes down as an infield hit for Prince Fielder.
Except it was 20 feet into the right field right there. You see Christian Guzman make a great play. Strong throw. Prince Fielder showing some wheels right there for a big man. And he legs out the infield. The Exmo, a beautiful job of picking up the action and the rotation of the ball.
Casey McGee. You see that swing? He's trying to go to right field again.
Oh, yeah.
He knows there's some wind and some help out there.
John, we would call this getting in your kitchen right there on McGee. The home run, the first at bat. Also trying to get a ground ball last year. 385 ground ball outs by John Lannon.
And a ball driven that way.
At the time, the wind had really picked up, blowing out to right. McGee hits it. You see the wind grab it. And then you see Willie Harris nail the wall. Nice effort, but McGee wins that battle, Bob.
Yeah, that was catchable on a normal night. Got him looking on the corner. That was interesting. McGee was trying to hit the ball away, and then John Lannon kept pitching him away.
Well, John wants to see if he could do it twice in one game, and he fires a nice fastball that comes back over the plate, outer half. Casey can't pull the trigger.
1-on-1 out. Carlos Gomez will be next. Well, how many ground ball outs here? 1 or 2. Close at first, and Gomez simply beat it out. That's John Lannon's 7th ground ball out of this game. He's come real close to having 9.
Well, this is well played by Ian Desmond. This is a short hop, tough one. Still another good feed, overhand, not underhand. And Christian Guzman, good spin. But Gomez has lightning fast speed. Great turn right there before Prince could get in there and get underneath you. Almost like the finish line on a 100-yard dash.
And a good pick by Adam Kennedy on the back end. The hitter will be Greg Zahn, the catcher. Weather in Pittsburgh, they're in a rain delay tonight with the Reds and the Pirates getting together. Hey, Marlins, now you know what we were talking about. 5-0 Phillies over Florida, 3rd inning. Placido Polanco's homered off Anibal Sanchez. Good luck up there that series, you guys. The Marlins 6-4 going in. The Phillies are 7-2. And by the way, that's a little run support for Roy Halladay tonight.
1 or 2 is pretty much all Roy needs.
Yeah, and he has 5. Lannon ahead of Zahn again. Had him 0-2 first time, has him 0-2 again.
Best part about yesterday was seeing Citizens Bank Park in your rearview mirror. Leaving Philly.
Yep.
Great hitters park, great hitting team.
Now they've got a runner picked off. Guzman made a really good play to get to second base and swipe the tag. Mike Everett waited and waited. And usually when an umpire's waiting that long, he's waiting to see if the defender dropped the ball.
Well, we got a guy like Carlos Gomez named Nyjer Morgan, and he takes off on first movement, and he just keeps on going. Bob and I talked about this in Philly. Sometimes it's better to never look and just keep going. There's a good strong throw by Adam Kennedy on the inside. Nice play by Christian, but sometimes speed is just too much.
And a broken bat. Kennedy will take this one himself, and the Nats are out of the inning. John Lannon's doing his part. Alberto Gonzalez is the cleanup man. He'll lead off in a moment. league-leading third triple. But, Rob, the Nats lost Adam Dunn on a check swing play back in the first inning.
Yeah, it was a couple of different half swings by Adam Dunn. The first one, not a strike. That one called a strike. And that draws the ire of one Adam Dunn. Throws the helmet, throws a couple of superlatives at him, and bye-bye.
On the other good side, after Jim Rugelman pleaded that case, John Lannon's having a nice night. 4 innings of 3-hit, 1-run ball. And here's Gonzalez, who doesn't need to know where he's hitting in the lineup tonight.
Well, and
we want Alberto to hit ground balls and line drives.
Gallardo not throwing a lot of strikes. 12 hitters so far, 5 3-ball counts. So we're letting him off the hook. He's throwing a lot of pitches. 52 to this point. Got to make him start paying.
So the Nationals go from a leadoff cleanup man with 317 career homers to a cleanup man with 2.
That's all right. We like Gonzo. He's got some big guns. It's a base hit'll do.
Locked up and late on that one. Other reason you hate to see that is because it just appeared that Adams' bat was starting to come alive.
Well, and Zim's not playing, so that hurts kind of doubly.
Gonzalez will pull it to the left side for Casey McGee. Coming up Monday, the Colorado Rockies will be here, and you college students can show your ID at the box office. Day of game and get 50% off your ticket any Monday through Thursday game in April. Those are on tickets valued at $10 or more. Get 50% off. Come and join us at the ballpark and get your red on. Nationals Rockies for 4 Monday through Thursday. Here's Josh Willingham, who walked his first time. He'll line one hard to left field, and the Nationals have their 4th base hit. Well, remember that graphic we showed you yesterday, how good Willingham is when he attacks the first pitch.
Well, I think he guessed, Bob, that was going to be an off-speed pitch, and he crushed it into left field. So it's just good hitting right here. And thinking along with the ball game, Gallardo takes something off right there, and whammo! Might even have been a hard cutter, but still, point being, going up there, not letting him get ahead of you and then get to his good stuff.
And what Rob meant by whammo is that ball got in left field in a hurry.
Well, he is a big, strong young man. Lots of home run potential, and I'm thinking 500 at bats this year, he gets 30 home runs or more.
Desmond rams one to right, and the ball almost got away from Corey Hart. Sliding back in there, Willingham. Very good play by Hart on a ball that couldn't have been hit any harder by hard luck Ian Desmond.
Well, as Bob said, this is a line drive sinking Corey Hart. Made the All-Star team a couple years ago. Great job by Corey coming in on this ball. Sliding catch. Get up. Know the situation and try to gun the runner out at first base and hammer getting back. That was a nice play by Corey.
Really good play. But the Nats are hitting the ball hard right now. Here's Adam Kennedy. Flied to left his first time. Off-speed pitch had him way out ahead.
And I had heard a scout tell me that the defense of Corey Hart was one of the reasons they were thinking of trading him. That the defense was slipping a little bit. It didn't look like the defense was slipping to me.
And as I mentioned earlier, against some right-handed pitchers, Jim Edmonds has been playing right field. I don't know if it's a true platoon. Let's see how many at-bats Edmonds has. He has 26 so far. Hart had 21 coming in, so at least early it shapes up as a right field platoon for Ken Maka. And if that's any indication, by Corey Hart, 2 pretty reliable gloves out there. Josh Willingham, evidently his reputation is getting around, Rob. He's 2 for 2 stealing bases. They're trying to hold him on there. One more negative about the Dunn ejection. Adam Dunn, one of the top hitters ever against the Milwaukee Brewers. A bunch of retired guys, the only ones with more homers than him against this ball club. Reggie, Sosa, Joe Carter, Mark McGwire. 34 Adam Dunn's hit against Milwaukee in his career. Now, he saw them a lot.
Same division.
In the Central. And he likes that ballpark up in Milwaukee. Any power hitter would. There's Will Nieves, the number 8 hitter. As Gallardo's gone 2-1 on Adam Kennedy. Say one thing about the Brewers' defense. They don't want anything to get over the head of Carlos Gomez in center. He's playing just about everybody in Washington's lineup deep enough as a power hitter tonight.
Well, with that great speed, he's not worried about going back on balls like, say, Andrew Jones, who used to play a shallow center field. He knows the ball's in front of him. He's got the speed to catch it.
Kennedy with a base hit to right. Willingham will stop at second, and the Nats are taking some great swings here. The second time around the batting order, 4th inning.
Well, Gallardo, Bob, continues to fall behind our hitters, and we're getting some singles and putting them together. There you see a nice fastball away. Adam goes out and he gets it, gets on top of it. Nice top spin. And get you a single. Now we need Will to come through with a huge 2-out hit. Pitcher on deck.
He has scored the Nats' only run tonight. Willingham singled with 1 out after the Desmond tough luck line drive. Kennedy with 2 outs, a base hit. And here's Will. He went to right field for his hit. They're leading off the 3rd. Nats have out-hit the Brewers 5-3.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Will have 1 or 2 opposite field home runs here at this park? And not many right-handers have ever hit home runs to right field at this park.
Yeah, for a long time, he had the only one into the bullpen, which Casey McGee did tonight. Will didn't have that prevailing wind. But I think it was a Carlos Marmol fastball that provided most of that power. A walk-off against the Cubs 2 years ago.
I was going to say, I don't want Casey McGee to think that we're saying that he doesn't have as much power as Will. Which he does. He's a big boy.
I'm not going to tell.
Oh, no. Casey already got 4 home runs on the season.
Yep.
It's a nice start.
But look how hard Ryan Zimmerman hit the ball yesterday when he went opposite field. These guys are so strong these days, they stay on the ball. Doesn't matter where they hit it. Pitcher on deck. Drops a breaking ball in there. I would be surprised, even shocked, to see a fastball over the plate in this at-bat when you have the pitcher on deck.
Well, and hopefully Will can think along with that process and that approach. With the pitcher coming up, this is an RBI situation. Pitcher's not going to give in. Take him to right.
Little tapper. Gallardo over to get it. He plants and throws, and he's out of the inning. 2 singles, a good play by Corey Hart in right. It's a tie game into the 5th. Top of the 5th inning, a little while ago, fans were waving and stomping and clapping and cheering and marveling at the speed of our racing presidents. You know, if they could shorten that thing by half, Teddy would really be good.
Or just to the foul line.
Abe evidently is a sprinter again this year. A visit by some mini sausages from Milwaukee who went down like dominoes right there. Sorry, Brewer fans, we had to do it. Alcides Escobar. And then Giovanni Gallardo for the Brewers, top of the 5th inning. John Lannon's 54th pitch of the night is his 38th strike. John has it going tonight. Desmond up the middle. Right to Kennedy. Ground ball out, number 9 for John Lannon. Of the 13 batters, he's retired. Desmond's looking a little better every day out there at short.
Yes, he is. And you need great defense if you're a ground ball specialist. As Bob said, 9 ground ball outs. Well, a few of them from this man right there. Off balance, but a perfect strike. A little help at the end there from the stretch by Adam Kennedy, but well played.
When you're that young and strong, you can throw off the wrong foot, and it doesn't matter, does it?
No, it does not.
Gallardo bounced out to Desmond, first time up. John Lannon, 3 strikeouts tonight. 1 fly ball by Ryan Braun to right field in the 3rd inning. Everything else, bringing up dust or grass.
Does that home run count as a fly ball?
It's not an out. It counts as a fly.
It was out of here. You're right.
On a normal night, it would have been a fly ball out.
Yeah.
And a tapper that Gonzalez will charge from 3rd. Alberto scoops it up and plays it well, 2 down.
Tappy, tap, tap. We like it.
Top of the order now, Ricky Weeks. The Brewers are off to a 4-5 start. 3-3 at home, 1-2 on the road. They've already played 6 games in their division and 2 out of 3 against the Central when they played the Cubbies. Chicago, by the way, beat Houston today 7-2 at Wrigley. So the Astros are 1-9. The other 1-9 team in baseball, the Orioles, who've lost 7 straight, play at Oakland later tonight. Kevin Millwood goes for them. Sometimes when you sit over by the first base side, you got to get up with people in the way. And there's Ricky Weeks to the scoreboard. Ball sticks out there. He makes the turn and stops at second base. And he's on base for the 2nd time tonight.
And I wish he would have tried that for 3 because we had Ian Desmond picking up that relay throw. He's got a terrific arm. 3rd time through the batting order, you're going to see some of the Brewers going to right on John Lannon. That ball down and away. You see the ball going away from Nigel Morgan. As Bob said, it's stuck at the bottom of the wall, but Nigel gets it in. Ricky's got some great wheels.
That's a 10-game hitting streak for Ricky Weeks. And a base hit, maybe. It's in front of Morgan. 3rd base coach Brad Fisher will send the runner. Niger had no chance to throw out Ricky Weeks. And the Brewers lead 2-1. It's been raining at least half the time. This game's been in progress for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. So any ball getting into the outfield is going to have some moisture on it. And with Weeks running, Rob, 2 outs, no chance here anyway.
No, but this ball was scalded by Corey Hart. They're getting a couple of good swings here now, the 3rd time through the order. Weeks hit the ball hard. Now Corey Hart hits the ball hard. And
Corey Hart's made a big difference in this game, snaring that line drive by Desmond. Now putting the Brewers on top. And it thickens here for John Lannon with Ryan Braun coming in. Lannon's kept the ball away from him. A base hit to right, fly ball to right. He's 1 for 2.
Well, you got 2 outs. One of the best hitters in the National League right now. One of the hottest hitters in the National League right now. You got to be very careful with him. And hopefully he can make a mistake when you're off speed pitches. Don't give in to Braun right here with a lefty on deck.
The homerless, knock on wood, Prince Fielder. Breaking ball in there. Dan Ugglas hit a homer at Philadelphia, 5-1 Phillies in the fourth. And the Braves have a couple of early runs at home against the Rockies, who will head here Sunday night, as the Prince waits 1 for 2 with a ground ball hit tonight.
Oh, nice pitch.
2-1.
Backed up a good 73-mile-an-hour curveball with a fired 90-mile-an-hour fastball in the inner half. You be the judge. Here's our pitch track. Very close.
Off speed, 3-1.
Well, you might as well just put him on. You do not want to make a mistake to this guy right here.
John McLaren right behind Jim Riggleman. I just saw them exchange a quick word or two, but for now, Lannon pitching to him. And he misses inside. John figured, okay, I'll fist him. If he swings, maybe it's an out. If not, we haven't given up anything big. And here's Prince Fielder on the heels of Lannon's second walk. Prince Fielder, a strikeout in the first. And a ground ball into right field that Guzman fielded but couldn't throw him out because he was so far from first base.
Well, John's having a great game tonight. Finish off this inning, keep going.
There's one out to Guzman. He didn't have to go up the middle this time. And a good inning by John Lannon. Despite a couple of hits, he pitches around the walk. And the Brewers lead 2-1 halfway through.
Coming up on Tuesday, come out for the first T-shirt Tuesday of the season. The first 10,000 fans at 7:05 versus the Rockies will receive a free red Natstown T-shirt presented by Tickets.com. Get your tickets today at Nationals.com. John Lannon will be leading off this bottom half of the fifth inning. Has thrown a fantastic game thus far. Gave up a run in the top half of the fifth inning, but he's trying to get something started for the good guys.
John Lannon, bottom of the fifth. Tried to bunt a runner ahead, fouled out to the third baseman McGee first time up.
Thought I was going to talk a little longer. I locked you out of the press box, and I finally got him to stop talking. I got it.
That's okay. That trick's been tried before, Rob. That's why I had a master key to the ballpark made a few years ago. Lannon, Morgan, and Harris in the bottom of the fifth.
We're going with our fast lineup tonight.
Good to see a couple of these Greyhounds aboard in the 5th inning. 2-2 to Lannon. John on the year is 0 for 3. Hitting about 100 for his career with a pretty decent sacrifice bunt total, even though he didn't execute first time up. He was trying to bunt his way aboard that time, and a curious choice on strike 2. Here's Nyjer Morgan.
3rd inning. Nyjer driving home the only run for the Nationals tonight. Catcher Will Nieves. A great job by Nyjer Morgan. Gallardo isn't as sharp as we've seen him before, Bob, but he's making his pitches when he has to. Seems to be going with a lot of soft stuff to hard stuff tonight.
Rain coming down steadily. Blowing sideways nearly in from left field as Morgan looks at a strike.
A little low. Let's see what's been called tonight.
.80 degrees at game time, and right after the game started, we started getting some showers. As expected, we were told at that time 80% chance of rain tonight. Willie Harris. Well, I hope the Nats don't look back in an hour or two and regret that pickoff of Harris back in the 3rd. The Nationals had 1st and 3rd, a run home, 1 out in a tie game. And Willie Harris in a rundown got picked off, and Guzman grounded out, ending that inning. Boy, if Adam Dunn had been on deck, that really would have hurt. Adam ejected in the 1st inning. Morgan takes one close, but ball 4. Man, has he been on base a lot. On base 3 times yesterday, 4 times the day before that, and twice more tonight.
Tough pitch to take as Gallardo comes over the top. You see that nice downward slant on the pitch, trying to change the eye level, and it was a ball, but it was close.
I'm not sure how you take that. Greg Zahn huddling with his pitcher. A true base running situation here with Willie Harris and Christian Guzman now, lefties, the next 2 batters. Willie Randolph going through signs to the infield again. It's obvious who runs the Milwaukee defense. Morgan has the front foot right even with the cut of the grass. Drawing a throw.
Prince Fielder tapping him with the ball.
Nyjer on the year, 3 for 4. Picked off in Philadelphia. Harris showing bunt for an instant. And then ball 1.
Gallardo maybe a little too quick to the plate again. 1.08 seconds to the plate, and he throws the ball. And that worked well for Nyjer when he got that triple, when Gallardo had a guy on first, even though it was Will Nieves, the catcher, and he starts rushing the delivery.
Runner holding, and Willie takes ball 2.
Once again, when you shorten up that stride of the front leg and you try to get it to home as quick as you can, sometimes you don't get the body and the arm to catch up with you. Kind of throws you off just enough, and hopefully now he'll make a mistake with a fastball and we can get something going.
Morgan holding. Harris with a little flare to left. Right there's Braun. And for 3 pitches in a row, Nyjer Morgan not even close to showing a move towards stealing a base against Giovanni Gallardo. It'll be up to Guzman with 2 outs. Morgan a little further on the lead here. You know, and Christian Guzman isn't the kind of hitter that sits in there and takes a whole lot of pitches. Something's going to happen here one way or the other pretty quickly. And an off-speed pitch outside. Alberto Gonzalez after Guzman here. A pitcher who should be pitching against the Nats here next Wednesday, Jason Hamill, has just given up 7 runs by the second inning in Atlanta. Rockies down 7-0. Guzman looking at his third pitch of the at-bat. It's in there, 1-2. Rob, what would be causing Nyjer Morgan not to come close to making a move here for second base?
Well, they may have a good read on the time between Gallardo releasing the ball and getting to home plate, how quickly he's doing that. And also, this is a big run right here. And they think that Christian can get him over to third, maybe. And I mean, it's a question of if this guy's, and he does have a decent move, he's quick to home. You don't want to get thrown out at second base right here and run yourself out of an inning. We've already seen Willie Harris get picked off tonight. Dunn and Zimmerman out of the lineup. This is a very important inning.
He's running. Pitch low and away. Morgan steals it easily. And a good backup by Ricky Weeks, the second baseman there. And Nyjer Morgan has his 4th steal of the year. It's the 12th for the Nationals.
And he picked a great pitch. It was an off-speed pitch right here. Quick delivery to home plate. Nyjer looks in quickly. Knows he's got a good jump on the catcher and the pitcher. You saw that big curveball outside and slow, besides being low. And that's a perfect pitch to steal if you're a base stealer.
2-2 to Christian Guzman now, who has 4 RBIs. 1 for 2 tonight. And the Nats have stolen 12 bases this year. Nobody's been thrown out at second base on a straight steal. The 2 caught stealings are pickoffs. Guzman lets that one go way inside, ball 3.
And they may not want to throw a pitch, a hittable pitch for Christian here with Gonzalez filling in for Dunn in the 4-hole.
Morgan a 1-out walk, a 2-out steal. 3-2 to Christian Guzman. And Gallardo turns one over on him and strikes him out. His 4th K of the game after 5. Nats a bit frustrated. Down 2-1 as Gallardo keeps making big pitches. Gomez, 5 hits in 5 innings, 11 ground ball outs. Here's Casey McGee, who homered opposite field, leading off the second. John goes soft on him to get a strike.
He and Will Nieves have been right on time together all night, working off speed and power pitches in on him. Comes back with some more hard stuff, but this is the John Lannon we know. When he's on his game, he's getting inside on the righties. A couple of those change-ups and slow pitches away from them, so he gets them off balance.
A little bit outside, 3-1. When John Lannon retires, his next batter, it'll be his longest outing of the year. Carlos Gomez next, and then the catcher Greg Zahn. In the air. Will the wind push it out of play? It's coming back. Oh, and Kennedy skipping the rope along the barrier there, not able to grab it.
Nice effort right here by Adam. As Bob said, the wind blows it. Looks like it's going out. He stays with it. It blows back towards the field, and just kind of bumped the wall a little bit.
Very unfamiliar territory for Adam Kennedy.
Well, usually he's coming in from the back of the first baseman.
Lannon with an off-speed breaking ball that McGee was way out ahead of.
John's perfect when he's throwing 74-mile-an-hour curveballs off speed, change-ups in that velocity, maybe about 78 and then 90. That's a perfect differential, and he's had the Brewers off balance all night.
Up the middle, a seeing eye base hit. McGee didn't hit the ball hard at all. He's had a pretty fortunate night here so far. 2 for 3, but John Lannon, as Rob mentioned, very, very good tonight.
Well, we've talked about it, the changing speeds, pitching inside, and then knowing when to throw outside. Look at that, getting on top. Great Exmo of the rotation, downward spin, and then when he had to, Greg Zahn got ahead, blew him away with the fastball, and then another good fastball that I think McGee was thinking, he'll probably throw something soft, and then first and second to end the 5th inning, and that threat was a big out to Prince Fielder. Now he's got to keep him right there, Bob. Give us a chance going forward.
1-run ball game. Long, long way to go. But when you play the Brewers, it's often an 8-inning game. Trying to bunt for a base hit, not a sacrifice, was Gomez. There's a gentleman in that bullpen with 594 career saves.
We don't want to see Trevor Hoffman. We don't want Trevor time. That man does, Ken Macher.
0-2. Lannon to Gomez. Right off the end of the bat, in the air to left for Willingham. Josh has it for the first out. AT&T Trivia here in the 6th inning tonight. The last Montreal Expo to regularly wear jersey number 42. Well, that's a pitcher's number.
Mel Rojas?
More than a position player's number, really.
Ugueth Urbina?
Ugueth Urbina? I don't know. For some reason, I remember him in the 50s. That's the batter's out. The bat hit the ball twice. The runner will have to go back to first base, and that'll be a put out for the nearest fielder, probably Will Nieves. Zahn hit the ball fair. Then the bat hit the ball again.
See him hit it, throw the bat down, and you can't do that. Almost looks like, let's see if this is a crafty veteran move.
He's looking
It is. He's looking at it, and he puts it in play. Let me get it a little farther from the catcher.
Come on, Greg.
Zani, nice try.
2 outs, and here's Escobar.
The 2 were caught by our ex-Mo.
A very unusual John Lannon, 12th ground ball out. Change up. Man, that was a good looking pitch. Just missing away. 2-0.
But once again, still a nice looking pitch. Stay out there. This is a young guy. He's looking for something he can put into play hard and run. Leaning out over the plate.
3-0. The pitcher is on deck.
They don't have anybody warming up.
I don't think so. Gallardo's thrown 86 pitches in 5 innings. It's a high pitch count, but he's got some left in the tank. Lannon will get a strike to Escobar, who's hit the ball on the ground twice tonight.
Well, and as you said, when Ryan Braun was up there, you fall behind, and sometimes you just throw a pitch trying to get the hitter to go fishing on. Maybe
Your pitch, yeah, not his.
Your pitch, exactly. And you might jam him, pop him up, or whatever, and then you've got Gallardo leading off the next inning. Probably not going to lead off the next inning.
All right, not the worst 2-out walk ever.
No.
John Lannon's 3rd of the night. The last Montreal Expo to regularly wear number 42 is, on our AT&T trivia, Kurt Reeder, crafty left-hander. Man, I can't believe we didn't get that one, Rob. What page of the media guide is that on?
Wow.
Wow. Willie Harris wearing number 42 tonight. And by the way, in the really interesting trivia department, Jackie Robinson's middle name was Roosevelt in honor of Teddy. And that's a family who knows its history. If not, running from center field to the first base dugout. No balls and 2 strikes to Gallardo, who has driven in 14 runs in his career. And as I mentioned earlier tonight, can swing the bat. He's hit 4 career home runs. We don't want to see Ricky Weeks until top 7.
We don't want to see Ricky being Ricky. Although that's Ricky Henderson. But Ricky Weeks, I'd like to keep him right where he's standing.
Off-speed pitch got him. John Lannon in and out of a few problems the last couple of innings. The Brewers have stranded 7. It's a 2-1 game, bottom 6. never get tired of watching. By the way, it's Milwaukee 2-1. Nats coming up, bottom of the 6th. Here we go. Flashback.
You know, it was a situation where I hadn't played much, and he hadn't played much. He hadn't pitched much, and we'd hit a few of their players, and the retaliation was in hand, and I just happened to be the first guy up. So it was something that had to be done on their part, and I did what I had to do on my part, and we became friends afterwards.
And here you are all these years later, Pat Listash, third base coach, Rob Dibble, star broadcaster. Funny how things work out, Rob, but that Pat Listash is a tough little guy, always has been. And Gonzalez flies out to right. The bottom of the 6th is underway. So, I don't know, is that kind of a heavyweight, welterweight matchup possibly going on there?
Well, when I was told to come back and retaliate, they had hit Ron Karkovice a couple of times. It was kind of a blowout game for the White Sox. I had not pitched in a while, as Pat said. And they actually had Dave Nilsson, the catcher, the big Australian catcher, was supposed to come up and hit. They pulled him down, put Pat Listash up there, and a little bit later in the season, about maybe a month later, we became teammates and friends. But at that time, I mean, the only time I could even get in the game was to go in there and mix it up a little bit. And I knew at that time it was the beginning of the end. But I have a lot of respect for Pat, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He's given away a lot of height and weight to me, as you said. So he came up to heavyweight class right there and charged the mound.
And I hope we don't see anything like this weekend.
No.
But there's a cleanup man for Milwaukee who has a bit of a history with the Nationals' new closer, Matt Capps.
Really?
From about 4 years ago.
I think it was Guillermo Mota last year hit Prince Fielder. Maybe it was 2 years ago. And then right after, Prince goes up to the locker room after the game with the Dodgers. That was like 17-6, I think, was about the score. No reason why you would drill Prince Fielder. And Guillermo Mota, I guess, just had a brain cramp and drilled him. Prince even looked at him like, why? Why'd you do that? So then he went after the game. So his quote was,
and Willingham, see you later. It just got out. And the Nationals have tied the game. It's a homer, Josh. Keep on trotting. Boy, the wind, Rob, almost kept that ball in the ballpark. The Nats by inches tie this game. Any other night, that thing's 8 or 10 rows up.
Well, this is a beautiful thing. Josh swinging a hot bat. He's going to get a fastball in. We told you about how quick he is to the ball. Quick, compact. It's a sinker that doesn't sink, and he just drives that thing into left field. Now, the at-bat before, he got a fastball in, a sinker, and he got on top of it. So that one was a good one to get underneath for tie game.
And here's Ian Desmond. The Nats have hit their 7th home run of the year. The Brewers have given up their league-leading 18th home run. It's been a real problem for their pitching staff. I guess it's only fitting. A couple of innings ago, it was 1 run on 3 hits, no errors each team. Now it's 2-6-0.
And give John Lannon, Bob, a lot of credit. Last couple of innings, he's had a couple of guys on at the end of the inning, worked his way out of a jam, and that's the John Lannon we know. He works his way out of jams, gives us an opportunity to come back, and that's how you repay the hard work of John Lannon. Willingham comes up and smacks a home run.
Ian Desmond killed the ball last time up. His low liner caught in right by Corey Hart in the middle of a couple of other hits. He goes that way again, and this a much easier play. 2 outs.
He is cranking on the ball to right, and that is beautiful. If you're Rick Eckstein, you've been working on getting him to go the other way, be more patient, see the ball a little bit longer, and the last couple of balls have been atom balls right at Corey Hart.
And the one thing a hitting coach will tell you, it's tough to convince a young player that the hits will come, but they will.
Well, and that's the thing from keeping Justin Maxwell and him being an everyday player, is covering the outside portion of the plate.
Well, Gallardo keeps pumping the ball in there, throws a strike to Kennedy. Adam is 1 for 2 tonight.
Well, and don't go to sleep on Kennedy. He's got home run potential.
But Josh Willingham now on the year, 3 home runs 90 in his career.
Now, doesn't Zim have about 94 or something like that? I mean, both of them are closing in on 100.
Zimmerman has 90. Hold on. I got it for you right here.
Right on that.
Ryan Zimmerman has 92.
92. So who will be first to 100? Zim better get back out there.
I like that kind of competition. 3-1 to Kennedy. By the way, there's weather all over this part of the country tonight. They had a rain delay in Pittsburgh. They've also experienced a delay in Harrisburg, where Steven Strasburg is to make his home debut tonight. They've pulled the tarp there, but they're almost 2 hours late with that game.
I was going to say, what time's it start that game? It's
weather.
9 o'clock.
Western Pennsylvania weather. Well, Harrisburg more central PA. But it's raining in Pittsburgh. But they started that game between the Pirates and the Reds. Kennedy takes a off-speed pitch on the outside corner, 3-2.
Didn't have to be. A little bit high in the zone.
This could be it for Gallardo, who's about to throw his 100th pitch. He's got good stuff, this kid. And he threw a 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock curveball to strike out Guzman.
And he brought some rain, Bob, with those last two curveballs. They've been so high, coming so low, as Bob said. 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, the rotation getting on top. So midnight to 6. Let's see if Kennedy can put him to bed.
This game right now is in the hands of the crew chief. And a 3-2 of the rain really coming down. Adam Kennedy fouls it away. Once the ball game starts, it's the crew chief, in this case, 28-year veteran Tim McClelland, who decides when the teams are pulled off the field.
And one of the biggest, toughest umpires of all time, Mr. McClelland. I don't know, though. Since he shaved off that mustache, kinder, gentler look about him.
3-2 pitch. Great at bat by Adam Kennedy. He's aboard with 2 outs. Tim McClelland's calling for the grounds crew, and this game's going to be delayed at 7:58 Eastern Time. Pardon me, 8:58. Tim McClelland, well, hold on. He was waving to the ground crew, but he's not going to put them on the field yet. He was waving to them to get in position by the first base tarp, and that's what they're doing. Rain coming down hard.
You know what we need? We need Annie Lennox to come and sing, "Here Comes the Rain Again." What do we have, over 40 hours of rain delays last year, Bob?
You know what, Rob? There's a lot better rain songs than that one, please.
Well, you being from another generation, what? Creedence Clearwater?
I'll take Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Right, we'll stop the rain.
The Beatles with Rain way, way back. We'll see if they'll run and hide their heads here shortly. Will Nieves 1 for 2 tonight. Keep in mind, any ball that gets into the outfield to a gap or down the line, it's going to scoot. When an outfielder picks it up, it's going to be slick. And the Nats, maybe with the elements working in their favor here. That's a fastball inside.
Well, that's our secret weapon, Gentleman Zim.
Yesterday's hero off the bench.
Well, I have to look good, so I'm going to wipe off my helmet.
One ball to 1 strike to Will Nieves. We arrive at the 9 o'clock hour here at Nationals Park. Not a huge crowd on hand. Most of them have moved up under cover now. At the bottom of the 6th, Josh Willingham has tied this game. And Adam Kennedy's at first base with 2 outs, 1-1 to Will Nieves. Kennedy has a big lead. And Will swings through that one, 1-2. 100. Lannon could be finished at 88 if Zimmerman bats for him. And Nieva strikes out. That'll get the ball game into the 7th inning. We'll keep an eye on the weather. And Josh Willingham with bad weather going on. That's an important swing. The Nats have tied the game at 2 after 6. Miller Lite Party Night here at the ballpark. A scoreboard pavilion seat and a drink voucher for $20. $22 for Prime games, and make sure you come early for the pregame happy hour at the Miller Lite Scoreboard Walk Bar featuring $5 brews. Because the inning ended, John Lannon was not pinch hit for. He'll go out and try to get the Nats through 7 here. To the shortstop. Great pick by Desmond. A really good play on a speedy hitter, Ricky Weeks.
Well, as a friend of mine would say, my man, 50 grand. Right here is a pick and a half. That's a bullet. Ian Desmond picks it, takes his time, and guns out Ricky Weeks. And Ricky will be mad about this later tonight.
Ian Desmond's playing some good shortstop tonight. Lannon to Hart. That was John Lannon's 13th ground ball out, although Ian Desmond would say that was a little more than a grounder.
It's a good pitch. That pitch was over the plate, even though Will was set up inside. Didn't get the call. 4th time through the batting order now as he starts the top of the Brewers, and it's 2 times in a row Ricky Weeks has hit a ball really hard.
I like the fact that a Nats starter is around to see the 4th time around. Livan Hernandez has 7 innings as the Nats' longest start of the year. He's gone 3-0 here on Hart, though. And Hart's a different kind of strike zone. Corey stands 6'6". Tyler Walker in the bullpen.
Yeah, we just saw a guy like that. Right fielder for the Phillies, Jason Worth, about 6'6".
Oh, great changeup. If he thought he was getting a heater, he was sadly mistaken.
Yes, he was. Call the doctor. This one's going to hurt. Great changeup, 82 miles an hour. Do it again.
And a 3-2 to Hart. He gets a bouncer. Nice pick by Gonzalez. The kids are picking it on the left side of the infield tonight. Those are important plays with Ryan Braun coming up. But Rob Dibble, it's good to see John Lannon dispelling what we hoped was not becoming an early season MO here.
No, and you know what? First couple of starts, let those go. Coming out of spring training, might have hit a little bit of a dead arm. He's got a great live fastball tonight, great change, great curveball. Next 12 starts, though, we showed after that ERA stuff. Outstanding.
Too bad that one goes foul off the bat of Ryan Braun.
Got to have great defense when you got a ground ball pitcher, and he has had stellar defense all night. Guys are picking it out there, and it's wet and nasty. That young man has a great glove. Gonzo at third, thrust into action because Adam Dunn was ejected.
Guarding the line here against Braun in the 7th inning.
Nothing gets by those guys.
You don't want to double down there. Hey, if Braun hits a single between Gonzalez and Desmond, tip your cap, he's still at first base.
Absolutely. I think he had a 2-out single in the first inning. I mean, doesn't matter. Make him go to right, single. It's not going to kill you.
All right. Yep. Even a third baseman off the line wouldn't have caught that.
Look at that turn.
He's 2 for 3 tonight with a walk. Ryan Braun's going to be batting up around 400 tonight. Nationals baseball brought to you tonight in part by Hagar. Established 1926. Your own great moment starts at Hagar.com.
I think you're a perfect spokesman for Hagar slacks. Good looking. Keep those pants tight. Well fitted.
I don't know what to say. I've never been paid that compliment by a grown man. Oh, my.
I don't think I've ever seen you blush. See, I could stump the president. I could make you blush.
Oh.
Come on, Johnny.
Well, who's next on the hit list? Jeez. Whew. No balls and 2 strikes. On what was a cool evening in Washington. Look at those home run totals. Year after year after year. 160 of them coming into this season.
He's the Milwaukee version of Phillies Ryan Howard.
How about the first baseman in this league? Fielder, Howard, Pujols,
Adrian Gonzalez
of San Diego, the one that nobody talks about enough.
Loney's no slouch.
Man.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Lance Berkman.
Yes. And now we've got Dunn at first base for us.
Hits the ball farther, or just as far as any of them. 0-2 to Prince. John Lannon got him with a breaking ball. A great 7-inning start by the Nats lefty tonight. 5 strikeouts, 14 ground ball outs. Time to stretch in the 7th.
And look at how these guys don't try to find the grip on the ball also. You just got to grab it when you have no time and fling it. Christian Guzman, even though Prince Fielder will beat this out, that's a heck of a play for a guy who hasn't seen a lot of action at second base in his career. Perfect one hopper to first. What a great camera.
Manny Parra, left-hander who's done some starting in his career for Milwaukee. In a leadoff situation in the 7th, it will not be Ryan Zimmerman. It'll be Justin Maxwell. And, of course, the other thing, Rob, on a night like this, you're rolling the dice a little bit by sending Ryan Zimmerman out there on a wet track. Brian Bruni warming up for the Nats.
Well, you haven't slowly or brought Ryan Zimmerman back slowly but surely to have him go out there and re-injure the hamstring. So in case it's a dire need, I think Jim Riggleman will leave Zim on the bench again.
Pretty good line for Giovanni Gallardo. 2 runs on 6 hits in 6 innings. Walked 4. Pitched around all of them. And struck out 5. Here's Justin Maxwell.
Well, a great start for 2 guys that came in that had not made 2 good starts between them. So, yeah. Both pitchers did a great job tonight.
Maxwell won at bat since his recall. Joined the team in Philadelphia 2 days ago. Big breaking ball from Manny Parra.
He is going to see a consistent diet of those, Bob, until he proves not only can he hit those, but he can take some of those to right field.
We saw former National Claudio Vargas, one of their free agent signings.
Pounding him away with fastballs, and they're changing speeds. It's not easy for Justin either, because he's not getting 4 or 5 at-bats every night to hone his skills.
Parra, what you would call very mediocre results as a starter. High ERA, opponent's batting average very high. 2-2 to Maxwell here, leading off the 7th.
Staying in there, working the count. Parra probably going to throw some more junk. He's got good off-speed stuff.
We'll try to sneak a heater by him, and he will. Set up the fastball with the off-speed stuff beautifully. First out here in the 7th. Follow the Nats on your iPhone, your iPod Touch, your BlackBerry, and your Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. Visit Nationals.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details.
Parra, dirty pool. A lot of change-ups, a lot of off-speed curveballs, fastballs away, and then he paints 94 in on the hands.
Nyjer Morgan 1 for 2 with an RBI triple, a walk, and a steal. Nyjer continues to make contact, and it's starting to pay off. Not that many hits, only 9 on the year, but 1 strikeout in 37 official at-bats. Front door breaking ball is in there. John Lennon outstanding tonight. 2 runs, 7 hits in 7 innings, walked 3, struck out 5, 14 outs on the ground. Funny swing by Nyjer Morgan, but no swing, says Andy Fletcher, and the Brewers can't believe it.
Let's see what we have.
Close.
So quick.
That was real speed.
Come on, Niger. Right up the middle.
Up and in. 2-2.
Well, you saw Para miss the outside part of the plate badly, and the fastball came back in, so do it again.
The ball hit him. And Morgan's on first base with 1 out. Boy, that could be a frustrating turn of events for the Brewers, who thought they had him struck out. And now he's at first with 1 out in a running situation, and Willie Harris coming up. Who's the best at pitching inside in all of baseball? Jason Aquino wants to know, Rob, from Falls Church.
There's some really good ones. Zach Greinke, Felix Hernandez, but the older guys like Halladay and Chris Carpenter, and you'll notice that they pitch 220, 230 innings, but give up about 180, 185 hits. So they're always getting inside on guys, jamming them. They won't give up more than maybe 18, 20 home runs a year. Get a lot of ground balls. Some of them, like John Lannon, pitches well inside. Like on a night like tonight, how many ground ball outs by John Lannon?
14.
14 ground ball outs. So it's an outstanding job by Mr. Lannon tonight. Getting in on a team that's not very easy, getting inside like the Phillies. So that gets you into the 7th inning. Got into that lineup for the 4th time tonight.
By the way, 7th inning, Phillies 8, Marlins 1. Up the road.
You think we're the only team that's going to have fun with the Phillies this year? They can play. And they get hit.
You know, just crossing over the state line into Delaware last night was a great feeling.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Like I said, leaving Pennsylvania was beautiful.
0-1 to Harris. One side of the plate to the other for Parra, who's throwing the ball pretty well. Manny Parra, 27 years of age, former 26th rounder by the Brewers 9 years ago.
You saw him get over that front leg, great follow through, 94-mile-an-hour fastball by a lefty. That'd be a nice weapon for Ken Maka if he could keep that up out of the bullpen, or even if he could get back into the rotation.
Target away on 0-2.
We talked about the Brewers, Bob. I mean, they went out, they got Randy Wolf in the offseason. They went out, they got Doug Davis. So they revamped that starting rotation.
They brought LaTroy Hawkins in for their bullpen on a 2-year deal. Greg Zahn to catch some of those guys.
Rick Peterson to be the pitching coach.
Ooh, that almost hit Willie Harris. Yeah, Chris Bosio, who was their pitching coach, is now their advanced scout. We just saw him.
Well, a great pitching coach, Mike Maddox, went to Texas and helped them. I think they won 87 games last year. Helped revamp their pitching staff. And helped guys like young Scott Feldman become a very good pitcher. I think he won 16 games last year. So
Willie Harris gets one up the middle. Base hit. Morgan flying around second. He's at third with 1 out. Aggressive base running by Morgan. And on Jackie Robinson Day, the kid from Cairo, Georgia, Willie Harris, gets a badly needed base hit.
not easy, not only to get hit by the pitch by Nyjer Morgan, but then another true lefty in Willie Harris to get that hit right there. And Ken Maka's seen enough. And that's got something cooking, Bob.
Going deeper into the Milwaukee bullpen with runners at first and third, 1 out, bottom of the 7th, and a chance to take the lead in this game. Nats have been battling from behind just about the whole night. Now a chance to lead. Hopefully some action on the bases coming up. Our copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Claudio Vargas was here for 4 starts in 05 and went 0-3 for the Nats with a 9.24 ERA. Found himself in Arizona after the Nats let him go. They picked him up on waivers. Since then, Milwaukee, the Mets, the Dodgers, back to the Brewers.
He's made the rounds, hasn't he?
Go-ahead run with lightning quick speed at third base. Willie Harris has a good lead at first. But the Nats have been a little careless in that department tonight. Give Guzman a chance to bat you on top here.
How about a squeeze play?
Possible.
Jackie Robinson night.
Niger Morgan steals home. How many times did Jackie do that?
Get out of there.
That's a double play. There are a couple of places you don't want to hit the ball in that situation. That's one of the main ones. The Nats squander a great opportunity.
People are enjoying themselves, and it's definitely the hot spot and place to visit when you come out to Nationals Park. Guys, back over to you.
All right, Debbie. At times, an uncomfortable night at the ballpark with the weather, but they've handled it well, and now it's Brian Bruni's chance here in the 8th inning against McGee, Gomez, and Zahn in a tie ball game right now that has the Nats a bit frustrated. But the pitching's been good. John Lanham deserved to get a W there, Rob, and the offense couldn't get it for him.
Well, and that's the one thing Christian Guzman could not afford to do right there is hit the ball on the ground, especially up the middle. They were playing at double play depth. And even though he's got great speed, not enough to stay out of the double play. And now it's up to Brian Bruni to come in here and shut down the Brewers lineup. Sean Burnett throwing.
Nationals bullpen 3 1/3 in Philly yesterday, giving up just the 1 run. Matt Capps on the Victorino homer. By the way, Matt Capps went further than 1 inning for a save for the first time in his career yesterday. He had never gone 4 or 5 outs. That was a hard-fought contest.
Well, and hopefully he won't have to do that that many more times. You know, hopefully Brian gets it together. A couple other guys step up out there, and everybody starts getting their roles down. It's a good ball club. They can win a lot of ball games.
2-1 to McGee, who's 2 for 3 tonight. And Bruni, who's had a control issue or two his last few times out, has fallen way behind. There's Matt Capps.
Got to win those close games, Bob. Good ball clubs win the one-run ball games.
Right in there from Brian, who so far in 3 1/3 innings has struck out 2 and walked 7.
Well, he spent too much time trying to find his slider while he's out there on the field. He's out there to get 3 outs, maybe 6 outs. Got to throw strikes, got to challenge the hitters.
Nyjer Morgan will have to field that on a hop, and Casey McGee is 3 for 4 tonight. He looks like the real deal after his breakout season last year. Man, that pitch was way up, and he got over the top of it.
Well, love talking hitting with Charlie Manuel and Milt Thompson and Rick Eckstein while we're in Philly, and it was all about when a guy throws hard, 94, 95, it's about making contact. Let him supply the power. Now Jim Riggleman will gather everybody up and say, okay, what do you want to do right here? What are we going to throw? How do you want to play this guy? But the bottom line is McGee is shortening up that swing, Bob, and just putting the ball in play on us.
And he's strong enough to hit it out of the park when he can drive it.
Absolutely.
I, for one, not real happy to see guys doing that against our ball club.
No.
But I'm glad to see that young hitters around baseball are getting the make the contact message. Rob, for too many years, we've had too many all-or-nothing sluggers in this game.
Oh, yeah, and that big kid down in Atlanta that we're going to see soon enough, Jason Hayward, 20 doing that. Frank Coor now doing that with the Mets.
Even Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard, I mean, worked this whole offseason with Barry Bonds. I mean, guys are starting, hopefully, to reverse that trend of the 200 strikeouts, 180 strikeouts a year, and get that down into the below 100s like they used to do back in Jackie Robinson's day.
Yeah.
Oh, make a play.
Hard bunt, unable to reach it. The only guy who's consistently done that over the last decade is Albert Pujols.
Absolutely.
Ted Williams type numbers in that department. I think it's a great trend, and I hope the guys keep it up. 1-1 strike to Gomez, 0 for 3 tonight.
When you talk about hitters and what they have to do to become better players at this level, also with young pitchers like Brian, got to trust your stuff. He's got tremendous velocity, but you have to locate those pitches to make it work.
Brad Fisher, third base coach, visiting with Gomez, prompting Bruni to walk off. On the grass at third, Gonzalez. Double play depth, Desmond and Guzman. Charging from first, Kennedy. And a good bunt. Gonzalez throws it by Guzman. Everybody is safe, and the Brewers will have runners at second and third with nobody out on what was a routine bunt play. They'll give a sacrifice to the hitter, probably an error to Gonzalez, and we'll see if Guzman was in position at the bag to get this throw.
Well, right there, Alberto, great strong throw, but he throws it too close to the runner. And I would check out this play. I mean, he's in the baseline. He's out. He's supposed to be in the box, and he's actually in the baseline. So I would consider him out.
Nationals with their 8th error of the year. Gonzalez with his second. And a play that can lose you a ball game in the 8th inning. It's up to Bruni now to get Greg Zahn.
Well, and that's why these lines are right here. That's where you're supposed to be. The runner not outside of the line.
I can't believe anybody from the Nationals is not arguing that.
Nobody's arguing that play, but when you're inside on the left side of that line and you interfere with the play, you're out. That's why they draw those lines, especially down the first baseline. You have to be inside those lines. Give the fielder an opportunity to throw it to first base.
Rooney gets on 0-2. And if the batter's out on a play like that, the runner has to come back. Second and third, nobody out in a tie game. But either the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson, or the first base ump, Tim McClellan, has to see that.
It's Rule 7.08B. When a runner intentionally interferes with a thrown ball or hinders a fielder attempting to make a play on the batted ball. And that's why those lines are there. He's got to be in between those lines on this bang-bang play. You'll see Alberto come down. The runner should be to the right of the line.
He's not.
And Carlos Gomez is not, but nobody noticed it, so it really is meaningless. Moot point.
2-2.
Now it's up to Brian Bruni to make a couple of pitches right here to get himself out of a big jam.
Zahn lifting one right field line.
Where to go?
Heading for the seats. Well in there.
Thank John Dever, PR with the Nationals, bringing by these rule books. 2010.
It's a bestseller. No swing, says Andy
close.
Fletcher.
Almost a foul tip. Let's see if he tips this ball right here. No, it doesn't go on the swing.
Bruni falling behind McGee. Falling behind Gomez, who was sacrificing. And Zahn to left. That'll be deep enough to score McGee. Willingham's only play is to third. The Brewers lead 3-2.
Almost had Gomez held up at second, or caught up at second. He just got back.
And the number 8 hitter, Alcides Escobar, will come up.
Well, Willie Harris being picked off first. One out, man on third there. And then that double play ball with a man on third and less than 2 outs. So a couple of times tonight the Nationals probably could have pushed another run across.
And the Brewers in a similar situation just did. Escobar 0 for 2 of the walk. And a runner at second, 1 out. Willingham coming forward for this one. If he catches it, it'll be a double play. All he has to do is run it into second base, and that's bad base running by Carlos Gomez. He's doubled off by about 120 feet, and the inning is over. Well, you know what they say, when you make a base running mistake, even when you're ahead, it'll come back to haunt. Good play by Willingham and a double play. Bottom of the 8th inning. Lots of time left for the Nationals to get right back in this thing or get ahead. As we go bottom 8 with Gonzalez, Willingham, and Desmond. And the last time we saw LaTroy Hawkins was Thursday, July 9th in Houston, when he threw a ground ball that should have been a double play. Miguel Tejada threw it away, and the Nats won that suspended game. That was a home game turned into a road game. The Brewers signed him to a 2-year free agent contract.
Bob, the last word we got on Steven Strasburg's start, this is about 20 minutes old. He was warming up, game was delayed by rain, and the power went out at the ballpark, pitch black. Try to get you another update.
How about that?
This is some gas by LaTroy Hawkins right here, and Gonzo, it's kind of a save the chin swing.
I would imagine the crowd's not real happy about that. They came to see one thing tonight in Harrisburg. Alberto Gonzalez 0 for 2 with a ground ball to third, a fly ball to right.
Well, you could give him a thrill, kind of play that Chicago Bulls music. What is that, the Alan Parsons Project? And get some lasers, and then Steven comes out.
I don't think he'd like that. 2 years, $7.5 million for LaTroy Hawkins. He made his first appearance in the big leagues in '95 with Minnesota. With them until '04 when he went to the Cubs.
We'll take a walk right here.
It's as good as a hit.
Or we'll take a hit. Come on, dig it, dig it, dig it.
And Gonzalez gets there.
Yes.
He's safe.
Atta baby.
Well played by Casey McGee.
It was.
And Alberto Gonzalez legs out an infield hit. That's the tying run aboard.
Alberto, not that fleet of foot. He's got to dig everything he's got. Casey McGee coming in. Perfect play. Bobbled it for a second.
He's there.
He's there. Exmo never lies. Dig, dig, dig. Right through the bag.
Here's how much team speed the Nats have. They're running for Alberto Gonzalez, who's pretty quick himself with Willie Taveras. He started, then stopped. Strike one to Willingham, who's already homered tonight.
Let's say Alberto runs like a lion. Willie Taveras runs like a cheetah. So 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Tell my wife has me watching the Cat's Diary on TV.
The Cat's Diary?
Big Cat's Diary. Big Cat's Diary. They show like lions, leopards, cheetahs in the wild. It's intense. If you're slow, Bob, you get eaten.
Well, in that case, I would be the salad bar.
Hey, all I got to do is outrun you, Bob. And Joe.
1-1 to Josh. A walk, a hit, a homer tonight. And it's Willingham. He's aboard. 2 on, nobody out. And a big spot coming up for the rookie Ian Desmond. Desmond, 3 hard hit balls tonight. Nothing to show for it. Could be bunting. He couldn't lay off the high pitch, and that's a foul ball.
Yeah, don't help him. The Troy Hawkins, Bob, on Wednesday night against the Cubs, or Wednesday afternoon, he melted down, had 2 outs in the 8th inning. And he just could not get that final out. 1 inning pitch, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, a couple of strikeouts, and the Cubs would win that ball game. So hopefully he hasn't totally recovered from that outing.
Well, it's now or possibly never for the Nats, because you know who you're facing in the 9th if the score is this.
Trevor time.
Great speed at second with Taveras. Willingham behind him. Todd Coffey is up and throwing.
Now, does he sprint in on the road like he does at home?
I don't know. Maybe we can find out after the Nats knock out Hawkins.
I was told yes. Now that's better, Ian. They can throw you a strike. And to make this sacrifice work, you have to be unselfish and give yourself up and become the out and put down a nice bunt.
And be committed to it.
Yes.
That's ball 2. Hawkins hasn't thrown him a strike yet. First one was a high fastball. Desmond could not lay off. Adam Kennedy is next. As the Nats have a base hit, a hit batter, and a 2-1 count to Desmond here. He deadens that ball perfectly. In fact, the ball hit and stopped. That's how well it checked up. And the runners are at second and third with 1 out on a 2-4 sacrifice.
Not an easy guy to sacrifice off. Big, tall drink of water, throws about 95 miles an hour. That was a perfect bunt. You see him bend the knees, use the bat and the elbows as a shock absorber. And as Bob said, the little skip and kiss. And I'll tell you, in golf, you can't lay up any better than that on the green. Ball checked up, and now we got second and third, 1 out. Chance to take the lead, if not just tie the game.
The Nationals' third opportunity with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs tonight. Kennedy hooks one, and fielder can't get it. 2 runs will score. The Nationals lead 4-3. Prince Fielder is playing way off the line, and Kennedy snuck one right down the chalk.
Rather be lucky than good. Lucky, lucky, lucky right here. Gets this ball on the ground to the right side. At least 1 run's going to come in. Prince Fielder playing off the line to try to make a play. 1 run in. The hammer will come in and hammer down the lead. Bob, that's a beautiful thing.
Put the bat on the ball. Good things happen. Here's Will Nieves.
Don't stop there.
Kennedy running. Good jump. Easily into second base. Everybody on this ball club getting in on the April track meet so far.
Well, this team has no intention of quitting, and Adam Kennedy, one of the leaders, just like Pudge Rodriguez. That's why they have world championship rings on their fingers. I am diving for the bag. Come on, Will. That's not yours.
No, that's not Will trying to pull that breaking ball.
Don't help this guy.
You know, sometimes with 2 strikes, his approach to hitting is better than it is with 1. Will now knows what he has to do.
Well, and he should sit right up on the plate, get great plate coverage, and do what he does best, take it to right.
To Nieves. He'll get through there. A base hit. Kennedy around third. Pat Listach sends him. And the Nationals lead by 2.
Sweet. Atta boy. Great job, Will.
Will Nieves on 0-2. LaTroy Hawkins gave him something he could pull. How about these late-inning bats the last 2 days?
Outstanding, Bob. 6 runs yesterday, and now coming through with some big runs. Never want to stop scoring runs. You never have enough. We know that after playing the Phillies. Bad breaking ball by LaTroy. Punched through the hole by your backup catcher. And I guess we go back to the bunt by Ian Desmond.
Key play.
Key play of this inning.
And I'm going to go back even further than that, Rob. The base running mistake by Carlos Gomez in the top of this inning. The Brewers had just taken the lead. When you make a base running mistake in this game, it will come back to get you. I mean, they had a whole bunch of left-handed pinch batters lined up to hit for the pitcher in that situation. Here's Ryan Zimmerman with a count of 0-1 pinch hitting. My, did he stay on the ball yesterday?
And this is a guy totally relaxed. And he is real fidgety on the bench, but up at the plate.
I've never seen Ryan react to a homer like that unless it was a walk-off homer. He was psyched about hitting that one yesterday.
Well, and I told you when Scott Olsen came off the field, Zim was in a fan's face for getting all over Olsen.
Ooh, fastball center cut. Ryan a little late for it.
More and more, this becomes Ryan Zimmerman's team. Quiet leader, but I like the emotion.
I bet you there's a big guy wearing number 44 down in that clubhouse doing some cheering right now, too.
Big bad
Madcaps joined by the other left-hander, other than English, Sean Burnett. And a 1-2 to Zimmerman. Hawkins jams him, and Ryan fights it off. It's the home stretch for the 2010 census. Not too late. Fill out and mail back your census form today. Do it this weekend. Get it done.
Come on, Sim.
Short lead by Will at first. Breaking ball that Ryan stays with. Not an easy pitch to get the bat on with 2 outs. Nyjer Morgan being on base 3 times tonight has been a spark for the Nationals. And a fastball up, hit to short. Escobar, Ryan trying to leg it out. The hamstring looked okay there, but how about the Nats in the 8th? 3 runs to take a 5-3 lead. Madcaps is 4 for 4 in save opportunities, and he's on the way.
Johnny, hello.
Proud. The Nationals are trying to get back to the 500 mark tonight. Here's our next television game. It's Levon tomorrow and Randy Wolf. A 3-year deal worth nearly $30 million for the left-hander. He won a start this year, and Levon was outstanding at Citi Field on Sunday with 7 shutout innings. We'll sleep fast and get you going at 12:30 with Nats Extra, presented by your Washington Ford dealers. Willie Taveras is in right. Willie Harris from right goes to third. And because the Brewers have no right-handed bats on their bench, they're all lefties, Sean Burnett starts the ninth at least. If he gets Craig Counsell, it may be his only hitter.
Well, with a 2-run lead, though, maybe Jim Riggleman can go a little bit longer.
True.
With Sean. Sean needs to get some more confidence back.
Throwing strikes. That's at the knees. Eddie O'Reilly needs to come way down. 2 1/3 innings, 3 hits, couple of runs. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. And a big spot here.
We got a lot of guys with not that many innings and some bad numbers, but get those crooked numbers down by doing your job.
But a lot of those numbers, Rob, by those guys when the Nats were behind in some slugfests, in meaningful situations like this, is when you turn your season around.
Absolutely. Well, since yesterday after the 7th inning, 8 runs scored by the Nationals, and that just shows a lot of character. Do not want to quit, do not want to lose. We talked a lot about this in Philadelphia. I mean, even a home run right here does not beat you, but walks will end up killing you. So you challenge hitters the farther you go into a count.
Counsell not a big power hitter. Nats hope it goes foul, and it does.
But that's what he does best right there.
He's a pest. Craig Counsell is in his 14th year in the big leagues, a .258 career hitter. But he's been on some championship ball clubs.
Yep.
He scored game-winning runs in Game 7 of the World Series twice. The kind of guy you want to have around. Burnett on 2-2. Broken bat. And a little liner right at Guzman for the first out.
Very nice. Good start.
Johnny and Ray are standing by with Nats Extra. Brought to you by Verizon Fios after the ball game. The Nats are going to bring in Matt Capps here on the heels of a big night for John Lannon. Josh Willingham continues to hurt the Brewers with the long ball. Randy Wolf and Levon Hernandez tomorrow. Well, Sean Burnett, the ultimate situational success. And Matt Capps on his way. 2 outs to go. A 5-out save that was a true grinder in Philadelphia yesterday. But, Rob, you know this as a closer. When things go bad and when things go good, you always have a short memory.
Well, and
yesterday means nothing.
It's momentum, absolutely. And as far as the way Matt has been throwing and coming right after people with the hard stuff and then making the sliders hold up.
Breaking ball, real close.
Pretty good pitch right there. You may be a little tired at times if you're working 3, 4, 5 days in a row, but sometimes you have a better breaking ball. Some days you have more movement on the fastball. You might not have top-end velocity, but you have much better command.
And a pop-up right side. Everybody converging on the dugout. The call by Will Nieves and the catch right at the rail. Now, this is big because it's Corey Hart and a huge hitter on deck.
It's a great play by Will Nieves, great concentration. Adam Kennedy came in late for a little bit of support.
Rob, those plays are not easy with raindrops coming down with the baseball.
No.
There's Corey Hart, 1 for 4 with an RBI single. A crowd of 17,234 braving a rough night at the park. Weather-wise, enjoying 2 outs and strike 1.
But I can honestly tell you there's not one closer around baseball that doesn't want to throw every day if it's a safe situation. The one thing about closing, you're greedy.
Strike 2. The Nationals never led in this game until the bottom of the 8th.
Nice try. You saw Will target up high. 94, chest high. Maybe something soften away from him and put these guys to bed.
Swing and a miss. And the Nationals have done it again. Matt Capps is 5 for 5. Washington wins it 5-3.
Fun by all. Matt Capps comes in to get the final out. But another nice team win, Bob.
Milwaukee stranding 8 base runners.